Greetings, this is Doc Ock coming to you live and direct today from Black Facts Headquarters Central. Peace and blessings to y'all. I hope everyone's had a good evening and is having an even better day, because we are on our way to dealing with some key Swahili poetry today, among other things. That's right, because we're bringing you the African world, not just one part or the other. We come to you bringing the whole ball of wax. That's why we call ourselves Black Facts, not African facts, not African American facts, not African Caribbean facts. We bring you the whole ball of wax. And if you've been watching for the past year now, from this time in March last year all the way up until the present, then you'll know just what we're talking about. And hopefully you've already given us a like and a thumbs up and subscribed to the Tubular Black Facts channel we're on right now. Easy to do, cost you nothing at all. Go ahead and do it right now, and it'll make you feel big instead of feeling really small, tiny. Okay? Now, today, let's get it on with our proverb of the day first. We'll start with our proverb of the day. See what we have today. Okay, here goes one here. For all of you people who like to sleep in, I got a proverb just for you. If you rise too early, the dew will wet you. If you rise too early, the dew will wet you. And that is where's that proverb from? That is a Nigerian proverb. If you rise too early, the dew will wet you. So rise early, but not too early. All right, unless you like feelings kind of squirrely, don't rise too early. All right, now let's see, where are we at? Anthology of Swahili love poetry. I got something to say about Swahili poetry in general. Let's see where we got it at here. I just was reading it a minute ago. Let's see. Yes, okay. It says right here in our little book about key Swahili love poetry that the most remarkable creation of the Waswahili, that is the Swahili people, is undoubtedly their poetry, which is unequaled by any other people in Africa. It has been said that Kiswahili poetry was invented by Arabs. Funnily, Arabs do not write Kiswahili poetry. So there's a good question for you there. How does somebody invent something that they don't even use or do? Yeah. How's that work? Arabs do not write Kiswahili poetry any more than Frenchmen write English poetry. Do they not possess enough poetry of their own? So this obviously has come about because black folks, we can't do anything on our own, number one. And number two, yes, there is a lot of Arabic influence in the language of Kiswahili. So there are Arabic words, a lot of Arabic words or words that are similar to Arabic words in Kiswahili. That's without a doubt. Okay, but because it was created as a language of trade, to trade amongst people that spoke a variety of languages, and the main one being Arabic. Okay, they were some of the main traders up and down that whole coast, the Swahili coast. All right, but now moving on. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I read that one yesterday. I'm looking for a short one. All right, something short, sweet, to the point. Here goes one here. Now, last weekend, I participated in a garden blessing. And in that garden, we planted a fig tree because, talks about that in the Bible, every man living under his vine and fig. So I'm sure it came from that Bible verse. But here we have another idea of a fig. Tini tunda la tamasha. Tini tunda la tamasha. Tini tunda la tamasha. Mgeni kukiri miwa. Tenalina pumbazisha. Akili huku pungua. Kwa mtu aso bashasha. Kwa mtu aso bashasha. Tamani akili toa. Iko mbali lada yake. Inatabu kuijua. Kishindo ni sumu yake. Wahale wakuchafua. Huipati raha yake. Ila kwa moyo kutua. Enyi walaji watini ambao munaijua kama sivyo ni suteni. Msiniache kuzua walahi hulilitini. Kama si mtu mwelewa kwa rahisi hulipati. Si tunda la kupomoa huanguka kwa sauti na maneno ya mvua. Sura yake tofauti na hadi iliyopewa. And all that means, in English, the fig is the fruit of love. The fig is the fruit of love to regale the guests with. It also gives comfort and diminishes your worrying, except for the man with no talent for pleasure, for he will devalue it. Far away is its sweetness. It is hard to experience it. It creates problems which poison it. It is a situation that spoils. You get no pleasure from it unless your mind is at ease. Oh, you enjoyers of the fig who have experienced it, if it is not as I say, then refute me. Do not allow me to lie. By God, you cannot enjoy the fig if you have no understanding. You will not get it easily. It is not a fruit one can simply shake down. It falls with a crash, and words will undress him. Its shape is different from the good luck that was given to it. Now, oh, I love the way they do this. This is, we said before, these poems are meant to be sung, and I'm obviously not singing them, okay? I'm doing good to be able to read them at all. But this song is full of what they call double entendres. Oh, double, okay. They meant double entendres. There's the word. I knew there was some letters missing here. Double entendres. They cannot be rendered in English without explanation. So double entendre, double meanings. The poet is discussing three subjects under one name. In other words, by one metaphor, the fig. In other words, love and lovemaking, woman and a particular woman. The very word tamasha is ambiguous. It means love, pleasure, and a precious present, which in itself may mean more than one thing. We learn that it reduces the mind. In other words, it has an infatuating influence. Only a man without a smile will not be able to appreciate it. In the second stanza, the poet laments that his beloved is far away, and at the same time hints at the reasons for this departure. Perhaps her father had sent her away to avoid a scandal. This, the poet continues, is the major problem of love, that it creates kishindo, noise or uproar, opposition, which spoils the pleasures of love entirely. Only those who have learned to be unperturbed by what people say or do can enjoy love peacefully. It follows that only an experienced man can pick the pleasures of love without suffering its thorns. The fig seems a small fruit, yet when it falls, it makes a loud noise. Obviously, the poet is playing on the idea of making a woman fall. The talkers of the town will undress, in other words, expose the young man. At first sight, love looks so promising, but soon it changes and brings ill luck. Well. If that ain't true, I don't know what is. Now that, yeah, I'm going to have to go back and read that one again. Tini tunda la tamasha, mgeni kukirimi wa. Tena lina pumbazisha, akili hukupungua, kwa mtu aso bashasha. Except the man for no talent, with no talent for pleasure. All right, so I'll go back and read that again later. I'm not going to read the whole thing twice. Not now, anyway. But, moving on. We're moving on to our book of the month. Well, of the second half of the month, anyway. Revolt in Ethiopia, a black insurrection against Italian imperialism. So we've got Brother Dick, Brother Bill, and the Princess Zunda, now squarely seated in Ethiopia, and they are taking a respite, a little break from all the action, with a desmach by the name of Yamru. And they're headed to a place called Abra Destum. Chapter 12. Dick thought suddenly of a daring scheme. He turned to the commander. See here, Desmach, how far is it to Abra Destum? Far too much, replied Yamru. By foot, long time. By foot, long time. Maybe 3 weeks. By donkey, maybe smaller, maybe 2 weeks. Much hill, bad country. It's hard traveling, Dick, the princess added. There are no roads to speak of, you know. Nothing but trails. What roads there are, we'll have to avoid because the Italians patrol them. Is that not so, Yamru? Truth, exclaimed the officer, wagging his leonine head sagely. They're talking about his hair. Leonine head sagely. Only nighttime can mans walk on road. Just as I thought, said Dick. Now listen. He drew his chair closer and leaned forward, his eyes sparkling with the enthusiasm of his new idea. I take it every day counts. Every day the Ethiopians have less and less arms and munitions. Every day the Italians go deeper into the country and consolidate their gains. So we're working against time. We've got to put arms in these people's hands soon and get them added supplies of munitions, or they will never be able to win. 3 weeks is too long. 2 weeks is too long. Besides, we'll be exposed to all kinds of danger on this long journey to Abra Destum. Yes, the tall black man nodded his head and stroked his sparse black beard. Very true. But no can go other way. To Abra Destum, it's far too much. Dick frowned impatiently. I know it's a long way, over 200 miles. But why can't we fly there and get it over with in an hour? We have enough gasoline from the 3 planes to carry us there, and on to Djibouti afterward. It's a chance we'll be taking trying to reach there on donkeys or afoot. Remember, Ras Restagusa and the Italians will be trying to find us and stop us. It was they who had those Italian pursuit planes follow us. They will send others, and next time we may not be so lucky. Ah, exclaimed Yamaru, showing his white teeth. Good plan, very good plan. But where you land on Abra Destum, no field there, all hill, no tree, all hill and tree. You die there if you land. And who's going to fly the plane? Asked the princess. I can't fly. You can't fly, and there's probably nobody here that can fly. Dick frowned darkly. No, he hadn't thought of that. There they were with planes and gasoline, but no pilot. I fly, said Yamaru quietly. You? I fly, repeated the officer. I learned fly in England. I fly good. Why didn't you tell us before? Dick was so amazed and also gratified that he was quite beside himself. I tell you now, before you not ask. Remember, I tell you only need petrol. Then you can fly us to Abra Destum tomorrow. Yes, but no can land, no field. If land, we die. He extended his long, slender hands and turning his head on one side, hunched his shoulders. It's our only chance, Atata, said Dick. They'll do anything and everything to stop us now. The longer it takes us to carry out our mission, the less chance we have of completing it. They'll stop at nothing. And you know how they murdered your servant, how they sent that woman after you, after Bill, how they rifled our cabins, how they learned about our plans from the radio man, and then planted that heroin in order to hold us. Those aviators were bent on killing or capturing us if we had not beat them to it. Now we've got to get away from here in a hurry. I agree with you, Dick. But what's the sense of taking a plane if we can't land? Those Italians had parachutes, observed Dick, brightening. Why can't we use them? Then Desmond can fly over the mountain and we can bail out with our guns and equipment. It will be a cinch. Jump out? The princess perceptibly paled. Of course, said Dick impatiently. It'll be a cinch. But I've never jumped with a parachute before, she objected. Neither have I. But I'll do it this time, and all you have to do is pull the cord and say your prayers. Dick smiled reassuringly. Desmond Yamaru glanced at Dick admiringly. Very good, he exclaimed, nodding his bushy head and showing his snowy teeth. Very good, very good. Many parachutes we have. It's very simple. Now, there you are, Dick exclaimed triumphantly. We can leave here right after daybreak and be over Abra Destum a little after sunrise. Can't we, Desmond? It can be done, the Ethiopian assented. Then smiling, he said, Mr. Veland, you have what a miler can say, good head, yes? It was still dark when Bill Sifton shook Dick awake. Come on, boss. It'll soon be cracking daylight. That jazz match fella's already up, and so's the princess. Dick jumped out of the comfortable bed and stretched. It was the first good sleep he had had, free from care since the night before leaving Marseille. Every night on the SS Metallic had been one of suspense and strain, and the confinement at Alexandria had permitted him to sleep only fitfully. Where's we going, boss? Asked Bill. Oh, excuse me. Oh, apparently somebody's calling my name. Y'all need to stop calling my name out there. Okay, where were we? We're flying to the mountains in central Ethiopia, Bill, just as soon as we can get away. Get all that camping equipment, the sleeping bags, the canvas bucket, the canvas water bag, the aluminum pails. Oh, praise the Most High. Jah! Rastafari. Ooh. Knives, forks, spoons, the flashlight, extra batteries, and all the other odds and ends. Pack them up securely in one big bundle. That'll make a mighty big bundle, sir. That's all right. We're going to drop it by parachute. Then we'll jump out after it. What? Cried Bill, suddenly pausing as if frozen. You ain't figuring on me jumping out of no plane, is you? You shouldn't say ain't, Bill. Dick cautioned, smiling as he hurried through his ablutions and morning shave. I've told you so often about saying is you. I'm afraid I'll have to send you back to school, Bill. Boss, I ain't, I'm not kidding. Are we going to jump out of a plane sure enough? Bill's eyes were wide. That's exactly what we're going to do, Bill. There's no place to land on a mountain with a plane. So we've got to drop over the side with our parachute. Suppose that old parachute don't open. Well, Bill, if it doesn't open,
it's 12:30.
It'll be just too bad, but parachutes usually open. Can I just stay around here till you get back? We're not coming back this way, Bill. You'll just have to go along or stay here with the Ethiopians. Well, I guess I have to go along, boss, but I'd just as soon be walking, if you ask me. Bill shook his head and went grumbling about his work. He hadn't bargained for anything like this when he became Dick's valet. In a few minutes, Bill gathered all the necessary equipment into a huge bundle, bound with a stout native cord. Dick, the princess, and Desmach Yamru were standing by one of the small pursuit planes. The Ethiopian commander had on one of the dead Italians' flying helmets, as did the princess and Dick. Another was handed to Bill when he put down his bundle. It was still dark, but toward the east there was the first gray intimation of daybreak. Now we're going to be closely packed in there, said Dick. There are 4 of us, and 3 is a big crowd for a plane this size. And where are we going to put that huge bundle, asked the princess. We'll be lucky to find room for the rifles in that plane when we all get in there. On top, grunted Yamru. Bill caught the idea immediately. With little difficulty, they fastened the bundle securely to the top of the cabin, behind the pilot's hood. Meanwhile, some of Yamru's men had placed flares at the end of the field. Dick got in first. The princess followed, and then Bill. Well, with their parachutes and the rifles, they were packed like sardines. A native whirled the propeller. The engine explosions echoed over the hills. Yamru turned the plane and ran down the field. The machine lifted easily, hopped the line of trees bordering the field, and turned due east toward Abra Destum, remote, inaccessible, sacred mountain of Ethiopia, where Ethiopia's treasures lay. And of course, you know, that has to be the end of chapter 12. So we'll pick up on chapter 13 tomorrow. In the meanwhile, you can imagine what they're going through and what they're getting ready to go through. Jumping out of an airplane for the first time into unfamiliar territory, into the hills of Ethiopia, on a desperate mission to get funds for the Ethiopians. And what are they going to do when they get that? All those funds are in gold. Boy, that's going to be a chore. Yeah, they already had a big bundle leaving with all their camping equipment. Now they got to get back gold. Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do it. It's going to be an interesting story, though, and I'm sure we'll learn much more about Ethiopia as it was during the time of Haile Selassie and the Italian occupation during World War II. This would be happening during World War II, so we're back in the 1940s. Well, I'm going to leave you with those thoughts. Meanwhile, we'll be back here tonight with more tales from East Africa. So, more tales from the book African Myths and Folk Tales, actually by Carter G. Woodson. So these tales actually come from different parts of Africa. They're not all from one part or another. And he doesn't tell us where. You either know or you don't know. Yeah, that's how that go. Meanwhile, you know what to do. Leave us with a like and a thumbs up too. And if you don't mind, go ahead and subscribe right below. If you all can do those things for us, we'd really appreciate it. Meanwhile, we're going to say peace out to LaRon Sledge Bay and to Sydney Harris. We see y'all over there. Peace out without a doubt. We'll check y'all later. In the meanwhile, have a good day.